Here we are with a few drum pattern hacks that will help you make better drum patterns and will improve your workflow. So the first one we're going to take a look at is quantization of audio. So just like you can quantize MIDI in Logic, for instance, I have this little Alchemy loop here. As you can hear, it's a bit off, so you can quantize it, and it's gonna be that's better. And you can actually do this in with audio as well. So if we have this. As you can hear, this drum loop is a bit off. It's not completely tight. But what we can do is we can use the flex tool in Logic to make this completely tight. So if we go in here, press the flex button and enable the flex on this track, we can go over here to region, and you can see there is this quantize option here, and we have all these different options of quantization. And just for the simplicity, I'm going to do it to 16th notes. Even though this groove is a bit shuffled, we can do like this. And you can play around with different settings here. So, for instance, with the 16 triplets. As you can see, it's a bit off still, but we can see where the different hits are, and you can actually move the different hits. So for instance, if I wanted this hit to be right here, you can do that. But we don't want that, so we're gonna move it back. And you can manipulate audio in so many ways. It's super cool. That was a quick tip. The next tip I'm going to show you is how you can use the drummer in Logic Pro to make awesome drum patterns. So if we go ahead and add another drummer track here, let's just go with the R&B one. And we have this, all these different settings. You can choose between some presets. You can use the X and Y axis to make it soft or loud, more simple, more complex. And you can choose which hits you want. And the cool thing is you can actually follow different audio tracks. So if you have a track where you want the drums to follow the bass line, for instance, the drummer will automatically adjust the groove to the bass. And this is really useful if you don't want to spend a lot of time programming your drums. You can easily do this. And the cool thing about this is that you can choose your own samples. As you can see here, it has loaded up the drum kit. That's the standard. But what you can do is you can open up Alchemy instead of the drum kit, and you can import your own sounds like this. So import audio, and we're gonna use the sampler and drum because we're working with drums. Then we can open up. I have this this sample pack I made with the drum kit, and I can take this kick sound here and add it here as the kick, and then I can use a hi-hat, and I have a bit of snare sound, and then I can press import. And as you can hear, it has loaded the sounds, but the snare is not there because you have to assign which MIDI note is triggering this sample. So as you can see, it will show which notes are being played here. And in this example, the hi-hat is actually being triggered instead of the snare. We can move the hi-hat by doing this, pulling the high key, and then the low key. So now now the hi-hat is at a different spot. But as we see, it has to be right there. Has to be this note. And now we can move the snare as well. So the snare has to be there. No. like this. So now we have our own samples in this one, and we can still adjust the groove. We can make it like this. And now the possibilities are pretty much endless. We can keep adding different drums, and we can make a different feel. We can add to the complexity and loudness. Like this. And you can do this with any samples. And the cool thing about this is, if you don't want to do it this way and you want to adjust the different MIDI notes, you can actually copy this, and it will paste as MIDI information. So as you can see here, we have all the MIDI information of this drum loop, and you can actually edit this afterwards if you're not completely satisfied with the job the drummer has done. So you can do some additional editing afterwards. Those were the quick tips.